There are so many men who fail to understand the subtle signs that women give when they are not interested in you. They give you subtle signs even through the relationship. Do you know that a woman can actually be with you for months and still have relatively low interest in you because she just maybe doesn't really want to hurt you, or she feels like she's gone too far, you guys have gone too far in this and just have to see it out? I will bring to you in this video 7 signs of low interest from a woman. If you've seen any of these signs, she is actually not that interested in you, and this is something you need to be cognizant of. Guys, watch out for these 7 signs of low interest from a woman. The number one astonishing sign of low interest from a woman is when she prioritizes other people's needs before yours. One thing you have to understand with female nature is that they can essentially say one thing but mean something else. They say what you may want to hear, but their priorities would always show in their choices. Where they put their mind, their heart in, would show in their priorities and in their choices. The choices that they make tell you where you lie, whether you are a priority to that girl or not. If this person puts other people's needs or other sort of needs above your own needs, this is a huge sign of low interest. This girl is not interested in you, at least not to the extent that you thought. There is nothing wrong with pursuing your goal. There's nothing wrong with building friendships with your family, with your friends. But if this is at the detriment of your relationship, and I'm telling you also that most women who are actually into you and see a life with you, they would prioritize the relationship that you have with her. She will prioritize the relationship she has with you over many other types of relationship, over many other things. And if you find that there's a trajectory of prioritization where you fall down a certain pecking order, my friend, that is a huge sign of low interest. This girl is not interested in you as much as you may think. A woman who actually sees you, sees a future with you, believes in you, believes in both of you, she would naturally prioritize both of you. One huge sign that a woman is not interested in you is that she doesn't mention the future or doesn't plan the future with you, where she uses words of collective nature, us, we, and all that. If this girl has never discussed the future with you, what your intentions are, where we are going, how we are navigating life, what is our next move, if she's never really discussing things like this with you or never really brings it up, or when you do, she shies away from it or avoids it, this is a huge sign of low interest. This normally happens to people who probably have been dating for a minute, and at some point there's it gets to that point where we want to decide on how we want to move the next part, the part we want to take next for our lives. And if a girl, most times I'm telling you, is women that not naturally bring up that kind of conversation, there is a little bit of wiring, different wiring between men and women, where women may tend to bring up conversations around the future or marriage, especially if you guys are of similar age, or even if you are just slightly older than she is, or if she's older than you, that's even worse. She's going to bring it up for sure. But if she's not talking about this, or you find out that when you mention it, she doesn't even she dodges it or doesn't want to engage in it, she has low interest for you. She is not seeing a future with you. A woman who is seeing a future, who wants to have you right now. She want to have you now. She want to start building and running with you right now. If you want something, you will go for it right now. You will possess that thing right now. You want that thing to start happening immediately. And a woman who has low interest for you, she is not going to discuss the future with you. If she's not discussing the future, it's obvious there's low interest. I will tell you another huge sign of low interest from a woman, and that would be unwillingness to compromise. How many times Have you been in a situation where you are actually going round and round in circle with your partner and fighting over similar issues, and she insists that she's not going to conform to a certain extent to whatever you want? It's my way or the highway or no way. She's not willing to compromise and meet your need to any extent. If somebody does not compromise or is not willing to compromise, that means they don't see that there's a difference between men and women. That means they don't believe in differences. That means all they believe in is my way, and that my way is the way. If you have a partner like this is a huge sign of low interest. On the other hand, a woman who is actually willing to hear you out, to compromise, is a woman with a little more interest in you. Is a woman who wants to keep the relationship. I'm telling you, if she meets another dude who is like, who she perceives in that way, I will do anything to keep this man. She will compromise. If she's not compromising for you, she's not the one for you. And I'm not saying in everything she's just going to be submissive and compromise and give up her, everything that makes her who she is. No, that's not what I'm saying. You want a woman who is able to stand for herself, but you don't want somebody who is often not flexible, especially when it comes to your needs. She is not meeting it. She's not willing to compromise, to even hear you, to meet your needs as well. If you find yourself in a relationship like this is low interest. It's low interest. They may be with you, but their interest is not high enough to keep you. It's not high enough to please you. One huge sign of low interest from a woman: constant change of plans, flaking on you. How many times have you been in that situation where you made plans with a girl and she decided to cancel? How many times have you made plans and she decided to change the plan and say, oh, let's go here instead. Let's do this instead. You've planned to meet the first time. She said, oh, something came up. I can't make it anymore. I'm sorry. Well, a woman who is kind of interested in you, even if something serious comes up, she's going to lead with that line and then lead with a further line which says, I'm sorry about this. Can we reschedule for this time, that time? On this day or that day, I'm still interested in meeting. That's what she would say. If she just says, I'm sorry, I can't make it anymore, something came up. Low interest. I will tell you another sign of low interest from a woman, and that is when she avoids physical contact with you. She removes your hand. She's not interested in all that. This is not a woman who is trying to be protective of whatever. This is somebody you've been talking to for a minute and she's expressing herself in this way. This is a huge sign of low interest. Any woman who feels safe and is interested in you would let you at least hold her hand, would let you at least maybe push her over to you. But she's not going to be outrightly like, leave me or remove your hand or whatever it is. You don't want to be with a woman like this. This is somebody with a low interest in you. And I'm speaking specifically to people who have, seen each other a couple of times. I'm not saying from the first time, second time, third day that you met a woman, you start getting all physical with her. You have to give it some time before you actually start initiating a sort of physical touch or physical contact with a woman. But when you do that and she wants to avoid it completely, this is a huge sign of low interest. If you guys have known each other for a minute and she's like that with you, it's time to evaluate whether you want to continue in that way with her. If you want to use any other tactics to win her over a little bit more, you could do that. But in the meantime, I'm just letting you know that's a huge sign of low interest from a woman. I will give you the last sign of a low interest woman: late replies via text messages. Not answering your calls, not replying to your messages, replying but extremely late, texting you back pretty cold, texting you back with one word, 2 words, no question, no follow-up, low interest. However you want to paint this, she doesn't see you as a prize. She doesn't see you as somebody who is worth her time. You don't want to experience this from any woman at all. You text them, they take 15 hours a day, 2 days even, to reply back to you. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy in that situation. Knowing who you are builds you. Many situations would want to change you, would want to make you a different person, want to make you act differently. But insist on being the person that you are. Insist on maintaining your own integrity, maintaining your own honesty. You are not gonna do things a certain way that may go against your conscience just to please a woman. If you text her and you've asked a question or whatever it is, and she's taking forever to reply you, my friend, this woman is actually not that interested in you. And if she comes back saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, this happened, that happened," and she does it again, "Oh, I'm sorry," and you accept, and then she does it again, it's not going to be a thing of sorry anymore. It becomes a thing of pattern. It becomes a routine. It's a habit. It's an acceptable norm with your relationship now. Nothing is going to be different. I see guys who like send these long ass messages. A friend of mine was showing me, he sent like a long ass message and this girl, they replied with, "Okay." Okay, really? And you see a text pattern between a man and a woman. You would know who is more into who and who is not really into it. If she's really into you but holding back, trying to make you work for it, that's also a red flag. That's a bad sign of anyone. If you know yourself and you know what you want, you are going to come out with it. You're going to be expressive with it. You are going to be proud of it. You're not going to try to make anybody work for anything. Oh, they have to earn it. They have to work for it. They have to. No, this is a sign of low interest. That's a woman who is not that interested in you. Guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. These are 7 signs, or rather just about 7 or 6. I can't remember how many I mentioned, that a woman has low interest in you. And as you explore these signs and apply to your life and search deep within you, I'm not trying to get you to be too complicated of a man. I just want you to know what you want, build your self-esteem, build your self-worth, improve your spirit, man. These things will get you to a point where you know who you are and what you want for yourself.